Hi friends, welcome to Whisper and Learn channel, where you practice English and learn important life lessons. Every video has a story to help you improve your listening skills. These stories are simple, clear, and perfect for beginners. Learning English doesn't have to be hard. With stories, it's fun and easy. Are you ready to listen, learn, and grow? Let's start the story together now.
Sara was a girl who loved her phone. She was 12 years old and lived in a small town. Every morning, Sara woke up and reached for her phone. She played games, watched videos, and sent messages to her friends. Sara spent hours looking at her screen. She didn't notice how much time passed. At school, Sara often looked at her phone under her desk. Her teachers told her to pay attention, but she couldn't stop. She tried to hide the screen behind her books, but her teachers noticed. "Sara, please put your phone away," they said. But she only nodded reluctantly. Even during lessons, her mind drifted back to her favorite game or the latest messages. At lunch, instead of talking to her classmates, Sara played games on her phone. She sat at the corner of the lunch table, her eyes glued to the screen. Her friends tried to include her. "Sara, look at this funny video I found," one friend said, but Sara barely glanced up. "Come play soccer with us," another friend suggested. Sara shook her head without looking away from her screen. "No, I'm busy," she replied. Her friends sighed and walked away to play, leaving Sara alone with her phone. At home, Sara's parents were worried. They noticed that Sara didn't play outside anymore. The garden, which she once loved, now sat untouched. When her mom asked for help with chores, Sara would mumble, "In a minute." But that minute never came. Instead, she stayed on the couch, scrolling through her phone. Dinner time was no different. Sara stared at her phone, barely eating. "Sara, put your phone away," her mom said firmly. Sara sighed and placed the phone in her pocket, but as soon as dinner was over, she pulled it out again. Her dad watched with concern. "Sara, you need to take a break," he said gently. But Sara didn't listen. Her parents decided to talk about the problem that evening. "This is getting out of hand," her mom said. "She's missing out on everything. She doesn't play, she doesn't talk to us, and she's always on that phone." Her dad nodded. "We need to help her. Let's plan something that gets her away from the screen for a while." One weekend, Sarah's family planned a trip to the countryside. They wanted to spend time together and enjoy nature. "You can't bring your phone," Sara's dad said. "What? No phone?" Sara was shocked. "What will I do all day?" Her parents smiled. "You'll see. It will be fun." At first, Sara thought her dad was joking. She laughed nervously. "You're not serious, right?" "I need my phone," she said. But her dad's face remained firm. "We're serious, Sara. It's just for one weekend. Trust us." Sara crossed her arms and frowned. "What if I get bored? What if my friends message me? I can't just ignore them." Her mom sat beside her and placed a hand on her shoulder. "Sara, sometimes it's good to take a break. You might even find it relaxing." But Sara wasn't convinced. On the morning of the trip, she tried one last time. "Please, can I at least bring it and not use it?" she begged. Her parents shook their heads. "No phone, Sara. This trip is about spending time together and enjoying nature." Sara sighed heavily and stomped the car, muttering under her breath. The drive to the countryside felt long for Sara. She slouched in the back seat, her arms folded tightly. Without her phone, she stared out the window, feeling annoyed. The radio played softly, but Sara didn't care. As the car moved farther from town, the scenery began to change. Tall buildings gave way to open fields. The road was lined with trees, their leaves dancing in the breeze. Cows grazed in pastures, and small streams glistened under the sun. Sara couldn't help but notice the beauty outside. "It's so quiet here," she thought, but she didn't say anything. When they arrived, Sara's parents handed her a small map. "We're going on a hike," her dad said. Sara groaned. "Hiking? Seriously? That's what we're doing?" Her mom laughed gently. "Yes, Sara, just give it a chance." As they started walking, Sara dragged her feet and mumbled complaints. But soon, she noticed little things she hadn't seen before. A butterfly with bright orange wings fluttered past her. She heard birds chirping and the sound of a gentle stream nearby. Her dad explained how to read the map and identify the trail. Slowly, Sara's frustration began to fade. After an hour, they stopped to rest by a shady tree. Her mom opened a picnic basket filled with sandwiches and fruit. Sara lay on the grass, looking up at the sky. The clouds seemed to form shapes, and she pointed them out to her parents. "That one looks like a rabbit," she said with a small smile. Her dad chuckled, "And that one looks like a ship." They laughed together, something they hadn't done in a while. In the afternoon, they reached a small, sparkling lake. The water was so clear that Sara could see tiny fish swimming near the shore. Her dad pulled out a fishing rod. "Want to try fishing?" he asked. Sara hesitated, but then nodded. Her dad guided her hands as she cast the line into the water. She felt clumsy at first, but her dad was patient, showing her how to hold the rod steady. As they sat together by the edge of the lake, Sara felt the warm sun on her face. The ripples in the water sparkled like diamonds. She waited quietly, listening to the soft rustling of leaves in the breeze. It was the first time in a long while she hadn't felt the urge to check her phone. When the fishing line finally tugged, Sara gasped. "I got one," she exclaimed. Her dad helped her reel in the fish, and they both laughed when it wriggled free and splashed back into the water. "We'll get the next one," her dad said, with a grin. Sara nodded, feeling a calmness she hadn't experienced in a long time. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, they built a campfire near their tent. The glow of the fire made Sara feel cozy, and the scent of burning wood filled the air. Her mom handed her a stick with a marshmallow on it. "Here, hold it over the flames," her mom said. Sara laughed as the marshmallow caught fire. "Blow it out," her mom exclaimed. And Sara did, giggling. They made s'mores, the melted chocolate and sticky marshmallow making a delicious mess. Later, they leaned back in their chairs and looked at the stars. The sky was clearer than Sara had ever seen. Her dad pointed out constellations like the Big Dipper and Orion's Belt. "Wow," Sara whispered. She couldn't believe how many stars filled the sky. It felt magical, as though she were seeing the universe for the first time. For a moment, she thought about how much she would have missed if she'd been staring at her phone. By the next morning, Sara felt different. She woke up early, stepped outside, and breathed in the cool, fresh air. A gentle breeze brushed her face, and she heard the songs of birds echoing through the trees. She noticed a deer grazing nearby and smiled. "This is nice," she thought. She walked toward the stream nearby, dipping her fingers into the cool water. The quiet of the morning, with only the sounds of nature around her, made Sara feel peaceful. She picked up a smooth stone and skipped it across the surface of the water. It was something her dad had taught her long ago, but that she had forgotten. Her laughter echoed softly as the stone hopped 3 times before sinking. When her parents woke up and joined her, they were surprised to see Sara smiling so brightly. "You're up early," her mom said. Sara shrugged. "I just wanted to enjoy the morning," she replied. Her dad handed her a cup of hot cocoa, and they sat together by the fire pit, enjoying the calm before packing up to leave. When they returned home later that day, Sara's mom asked, "Did you miss your phone?" Sara thought for a moment before shaking her head. "Not really. I had fun without it," she said. Her parents exchanged pleased smiles. "Sometimes it's good to take a break," her dad said. Over the next week, Sara surprised everyone by using her phone less. She started playing outside with her friends, helping her mom with the garden, and even reading a book. Her friends noticed the change. "You're different, Sara," one of them said. "Yeah," Sara replied with a grin. "I feel better this way." Sara had learned an important lesson. She realized that life outside of her phone was full of beauty, connection, and joy. Taking a break had helped her find balance, and she promised herself she would never let screens take over her life again.
Thank you so much for watching today's story. We hope you enjoyed practicing your English with us. Remember, every day is a chance to improve your skills. Keep listening to English stories and learning life lessons. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell so you never miss a new story. We can't wait to see you in the next video. Keep learning, stay positive, and see you soon.